When it's this, does it mean 1 second, 1 minute, or we're on? Hi guys, we're live. I feel like a news anchor with this thing. So let's go over a couple of housekeeping items. This is supposed to be interactive, so I have a lot of questions. I don't think I can cover all of them, but as we go through them, I prefer if people ask clarifications or follow-ups to those questions that we're covering, because I think that's the best way to get them answered. Let's look at two topics that were raised, I think, in the last episode. Guys, by the way, this is episode 6, so we've been doing this for 6 months now. If you've been to all the episodes, that's great. Thank you. Anyways, the two topics are back mount escapes. That's Alipur Eskundar from Poland and Bilal Bhatti from Canada. Side control escapes. So those two topics are very big topics. We could spend literally the whole half an hour on them. This is supposed to be a troubleshooting session, so I'd like to get sort of a little bit more specific questions, meaning, okay, if I'm, the guy's north-south on me, top of side control, but actually north-south, how do I escape? So try to keep them more specific, because then I can give you a more specific answer. So for those two topics, guys, I'm going to refer you to videos I've done with Firaz Zahabi from TriStar Gym. It's on TriStar Gym channel. They both covered back mount escape and side control escapes. And why don't you take a look at those? And then if you have additional follow-up questions, we can cover them in the next episode. Okay? So, guys, let's get started. We have a couple of very interesting topics today. One of them is by Adam Visted from Sweden, which is inverted triangle setups. So let's go to those, and then we have some sort of quick topics. Some of these are more involved. Inverted triangle setups, so I'm going to try to cover that. And then also best open guard attacks or setups when the guy, especially when the guy stands up in your guard. So those are two interesting topics. Each will take us a few minutes to go through, and then we'll tackle some of the other ones. Another thing that I like to tell you, we try to alternate gi and no gi since we're actually in no gi season for IBJJF. So part of me wants to do no gi, but it's getting cold, so I like gi in the cold weather. But my game is not very different between gi and no gi. I try to use universal grips, and a lot of my submissions are very similar or the same, regardless of which game I use. So let's look at the topic. The other big topic was also sort of situations to enter guillotines. This kind of brings me to a very big point in my game. I hit a lot of arm locks. I hit a lot of guillotines. I hit a lot of inverted triangles. And it's not one setup. Once you have a good submission, that's sort of yours. I think it's important not to just develop follow-ups on that submission, but also to develop other situations where you can use the same submission. And I use them both, all of them, whether it's knee bars, which I like a lot, arm locks, which I like a lot, inverted triangles, which I like a lot, inverted and reverse triangles, guillotines, which I like a lot. I have setups both defensively as well as offensively, and I think when you get to that sort of situations where you can use them both defensively as well as offensively, then it becomes a really good, for lack of a better word, system for you. All right? So let's look at some inverted triangle setups. I'm just going to get out of the camera and come back to my marker so we don't run off into the woods as we're training. So let's look at an offensive setup. Let's switch so people can see it. So one of my favorite offensive setups for an inverted triangle is off a failed Ude Gatame. All right? So I have Enrique in my guard, and I start to hit an Ude Gatame. Enrique does a good job turning me to my left side, because in order for me to finish him with the Ude Gatame, I need to be more tilting towards my right side. So as soon as I'm starting to go for it, he tilts me to my left side, which is a good defensive way for him to deal with this. Now he starts to cut the corner to take that away from me altogether as the leg slips off the hip. But that's fine, because my leg, what I'm doing is my left leg is bringing him forward, and my right leg is cutting him down. And now I have an inverted triangle. You can also have additional follow-ups from here. Reverse Kimura. You still have the Ude Gatame. So that's a very good setup for me. Works very successfully. Okay, so let's look at it one more time. So as Enrique's my guard, I sit up, I attack with Ude Gatame. Enrique turns me to my left side. I know where he's going to go. He wants my left foot off his hip because that's what keeps him in danger. As he's cutting the angle, I'm already bringing him forward. My right leg is cutting him down. And now I lock up. Guys, if you don't lock, if you're not happy with your lockup, you can always pop up, adjust the angle, and then squeeze. Okay? So that's a sort of an offensive setup for an inverted triangle. I use it for attacks from top of cross side, failed arm locks. But a lot of times I use it from failed arm locks. That's sort of the offensive way to set up inverted triangle. Okay? Now, a good defensive way is to set it up from a guard pass. You should not bait people, because if you just bait people, it's like play possum. That will bite you in the ass with high-level skilled practitioners. May not bite you in the ass with your friend that might be sort of lower level than you are, but it will bite you in the ass with high-level practitioners. So I'm not a fan of just like going like this, waiting for him to pass my guard. All right. What I will do is I use this against high-level guys that are good, athletic, and they start to move from side to side. If you have somebody standing on their feet and moving from side to side to pass your guard, you will probably get tired before they do, because gravity is against you. It's helping them. It's hurting you. So I will fight their guard pass until to the point where I feel like they're making a mistake, where they start to overextend. Okay? So let's look at it, especially the bullfight pass, or the guy goes over and under, and I'm going to fight. I keep fighting for him. I try to sweep. I try to get arm lock or something, swim. And now, as I start to feel, okay, it's going to happen. But you need him overextended to make sure that his head is low. You cannot have him up here. This will fail. So you want to make sure that as you allow him to pass, his head is low by your hips. I'm already turning on my side. So I'm pushing his head down. I'm turning on my side and locking up an inverted triangle. Okay? So let's look at it again from another angle. So I keep fighting, and as I start to feel like he's coming through, but this is what you need to accomplish through your defensive guard. You cannot just let him get the pass and have his head up to your shoulder. You will fail. That's why you need to fight the guard pass. So when he eventually does get through, his head is by your hip. I push his head down to the side, and now I'll lock it up. Again, as I mentioned before, I hit inverted triangles from a lot of positions. I hit guillotines from a lot of positions. We're actually going to go over some of that stuff as well. I hit arm locks from a lot of different positions. So as you develop good submissions, try to develop them across your game, both defensively as well as offensively. Inverted triangles are particularly my favorite, and the reason, again, inverted reverse straight triangle, people tend to look at them as a submission only. I tend to look at them not just as a submission, but also a very strong form of control, which allow you, even if you cannot finish the choke, allow you to follow up or with something else, or more importantly, have a secondary submission. Okay? So again, I'd encourage you to play around with inverted triangle. I believe there's a video we did with Firas on triangles. I'm not quite sure what triangles we covered, but the video is about 30-40 minutes long. Each video is, whether it's back mount escape, escape from bottom cross side, and the triangle videos, they're all about 30-40 minutes long. So there's quite a lot of techniques specifically to that position. So let's look at it one more time on the defensive aspect of the inverted triangle. So I fight the guard pass. I'm already getting ready. As he's coming through, I'm locking up. This time, you always have a follow-up submission or secondary submission, okay? So hopefully that gives you some ideas for some inverted triangle setups. Anytime you can control the guy's head and arm, whether it's with your arm, like arm triangle, guillotine, or anaconda grips, you should do so. With your legs, then becomes straight triangles, reverse triangles, and inverted triangles. Again, you should do so because at the very least, allows you to control your opponent. Okay? Do we have any questions?
No questions, but Bilal Badi, Khalil Nasir, and Paul Berdikov all say good morning, Professor. Thank you.
Hi guys, good morning. As you know, this has become somewhat global. So we have guys in Europe, we have guys in India, we have guys in Australia, we have guys in Algeria. So and obviously the Western Hemisphere. So for us, it's the morning. For some of you guys, it's early afternoon or late afternoon, early evening. And for some of you guys, it's close to nighttime. So let's move on to the next topic, okay, guys? So this is a quick question. Noah Barth from PA. Split guard grip, no-gi. My split guard grip, no-gi or gi, is the same, okay? So we're just going to take off the jacket real quick to show you the split guard no-gi grip. It's the same, guys. If you do this grip well, it's how you wedge the guy's arm between your limbs. Okay, that's what keeps him in without escaping. It's not the grip. It's how you control the angle. So you need to control the angle of the guy in such a manner so that he cannot pull this out. He needs to turn, but when he turns, he puts himself in danger. So if you want more detailed discussion of split guard, you should go to episode 4 and 5. They're both on my page, and we've uploaded, I don't know if all episodes, but eventually all episodes will be uploaded to YouTube as well. So as I get the split guard, it's the same gi no gi. So you can see that between the way his arm is wedged between my torso and my leg, it's very difficult for Enrique to come forward, which what prevents him from going forward is my feet on the hips. What prevents him from going back is as he starts to pull. If I just kind of let him pull, he will pull, but I have tension, especially in my left leg. Now, as he starts to change the angle, I can always keep adjusting. But look, mano hands, this is a very strong grip. Try to pull a little harder. Come on. Let me give you some motivation. So it's very, very strong, guys. Okay? So it's the same grip, gi, no gi. It doesn't matter. We go back to gi now. It doesn't matter, but that grip is the same for no gi as well as gi. Yes, Frank.
I have a question from Elad Sapir. How do you escape from a deep north-south position, and is there an offense after you escape?
There's always offense after I escape. Elad, I have like 2 other questions from you from last episode, so I don't know, maybe we may have to leave this one for the next time, but let me see how far we can get. I have for you, from you is, so Modesto Garcia and Elad Sapir, I guess from Israel. What is the best guard for standing opponent? Open guard against standing opponent. And then I have another question from you. How do you get out of triangle? So if you have a preference as far as north-south versus triangle, I can cover, I'm going to cover the open guard because that's a very good topic. And then we could talk about getting out of triangles or escaping north-south choke. All right? So let's talk about, this is a very, very good topic, guys. And I've covered that in seminar actually last week in Germany, and I covered this actually in my class because it's a very, very good topic. So let's look at what happens if the guy stands up in your guard. To be honest with you, the easier address is when your guard is closed. If your guard is closed, it's a lot easier to answer. All right. So we're going to start with that, then we're going to move into a more difficult answer is what happens if the guy stands up in your open guard. Okay. So if my guard is closed, and Enriquez, first of all, I want to get grips to make sure I control his posture, but suppose he just stands up. So when he stands up, you have two options. One is to keep your legs closed for as long as you possibly can and have him break them apart. No. You're going to hit me in a gi? So now I tried to hold my legs and try to get my grips as long as possible, but except I waited too long and I gave him the opportunity now to break my legs and now starting to pass my guard. So that's when he turned this way. So if the guy stands up in my guard, once he stands up, guys, I know it's just a matter of time for it. So if I have really good grips of something where I can actually make something happen, I will take advantage of that. But a lot of times that's not the case. So as he stands up, right, and my grips are marginal, I know it's just a matter of time before he starts to opens my legs and starts to pass my guard. So rather than allowing him to do it on his terms, I'm going to do it on my terms. You can go elbow deep. Sweep. Now I will try to come up. Okay? So that's one answer. Let's look at it again. So as he postures up, I'm going to go elbow deep and arch. As I'm already swimming out and say hello to my little friend. Okay? So that's one answer. If he stands up in your closed guard. My actually preferred answer is to immediately switch into a knee bar. That's my preferred answer. So as soon as I see the guy standing up and I don't have good grips to bring him back down and attack an arm lock, triangle, omoplata, or whatever, as soon as he stands up, I want to attack the knee. So as he stands up, and before he gets a chance to start opening me up, I'm still going to go elbow deep. I'm going to pivot, and now I'm going to try to get to the other cheek, or if I can, actually under the other leg. But Enrique is not allowing me to do that, and then I just arch. And in this case, depends where he turns. Tap. He's not turning, so I just knee bar him. If he turns tap to one side or the other side, it doesn't matter. Regardless whether you can get the knee bar or not, you take the initiative back from him. You take his momentum, okay? So if Enrique stands up, I open and I attack. As I'm attacking, even if I cannot finish the knee bar, I have calf crushes. Even if he escapes the calf crush, now I have effectively swept him. So one more time. So this time run. Run. You gotta do a better job. So as you can see, I can either finish with a submission, or if I can't finish the submission, at least I have a sweep. Okay? So that's how I deal with sort of somebody standing up in my closed guard. I think the question was, the guy, burns out your grips. He stands up and you're just trying to bring him down. I believe that's just a matter of time for him to impose his will, which is open your legs, pass your guard. So I believe this is a better answer. So, as soon as he stands up, he took half a step ahead. So if you don't have good grips to bring him down, if you're just kind of hanging on, take the initiative, attack. Either sweep or go for a knee bar, which can be a submission or a sweep. Now, the more interesting topic is open guard, when the guy stands up in open guard. All right, so when somebody stands in your open guard, this is a very, I don't like this position because Enrique can move very quickly from side to side. Okay? And I'm going to be, if he moves very quickly to one side, I need to follow, I need to keep regarding. Okay? He can control my legs and start to move towards one side. This is going to be now difficult for me. I'm going to be doing a lot more work. Okay? So it's very important when somebody stands up in your open guard, especially from a self-defense or MMA perspective, you have to tie them up quickly. Now, you're going to have two different postures. One is Enriquez kind of standing chest forward, which is a lot easier for me to get my grips, collar grip or arm grips. The other possibility when he's standing upright. When he's standing upright, what I'm going to try to do is slide in or just create off balance. I don't need to necessarily knock him down. I just need to create a condition for him to stumble. When he stumbles, so even if no-gi, for example, he's stumbling. Now I can get my grips. With no-gi, I would try to go arm and head, okay? So I need him to stumble, that's it. Once he stumbles, I'm getting my grips. That's the whole point of me stumbling him, making him, just briefly, he doesn't have to post his hands on the ground, is to get my grips. The other grip, especially with no-gi, I like to get is 2-on-1. And again, if I can, I will slide in. I can try to undercut. And now what I'm looking to do is to put his hand on the ground. When that happens, guys, if I can keep his hand on the ground, I'm going to get my feet out of the way and I slide in and I'm going to drop. It doesn't look like I have an angle to take him down, but I do. What makes it happen is I cannot drive that strong, but if I keep turning, he will turn. Okay? Very important for you to have your head on the inside. So you avoid a guillotine. Because if you do that to me with your head on the outside, I will guillotine you. So let's look at it again. I'm looking to stumble him. I'm looking to off balance him just for a brief moment. Here, 2-on-1. Once, if I can put his hand on the ground, I'm going to slide in and get my feet out of the way, my head either on his torso or inside, and I continue to circle. Now I'm going to sweep. Sometimes, when the guy stands, stand up. So when he stands, and again, guys, notice I'm using the universal grips. No, a gi I would be here, no gi, I'm just holding on to the wrist and tricep. Sometimes when the guy stands a little bit, I can actually weave my leg through. All right? What I'll do is I use these grips to weave my leg through and switch the grip from the tricep to his heel. Now I will threaten taking his back. Okay? Say goodnight. Weave my leg through. My body has to be stiff as a board. Notice that I'm not relaxed. I'm actually stiff. And then I just pull off to the side, kick forward. I'm not going to fight for my hooks. These are effectively hooks. So I'm not going to fight for them unless I fight to control the upper body. Okay? I will fight for the hooks. If he starts defending, then I'm going to fight for the hooks. Okay? So that's two ways to sort of attack him. So I'm attacking to my right. So I'm bringing his arm to my right. If I can, I will get a sweep. I will come up. If he kind of stands firm, I will attack sort of Del Hiva, weave it all the way through, and attack his back. But a lot of savvy guys, what they'll try to do is, as I do this, as I'm bringing their arm to my right, nobody wants that. So they start to bring it to regain, kind of come back and start to pressure my leg down. Oh, we have Ude Gatame attack here. All right, but even before, if his elbow stays tight, so before that happens, as I'm pulling to my right, as he's bringing it to the left, I know I'm losing the initial attack, but I also know what I'm going to do is now over-exaggerate his movement just a little bit. It's very important I don't just kind of push it out, but I pull the elbow as well. And as that's happening, we go into Omoplata attack. All right? So look at it again. He's standing up. I need to tie him up. I start to try to pull him to my right. That's not happening. Left it is. Tap. Okay. So this is a good way to deal with sort of a guy standing up in your guard. Open guard, I believe, is more difficult than closed guard. So as he starts to, my first thing is to off balance him. I just need him to sort of put his hand out a little bit. Then I'll get my grips. As soon as I have my grips, usually 2-on-1, I will try to drag him past me. If I'm successful, I'm going to sit up and start driving and circling to bring him down. If I'm not successful, he's just holding on strong, I will weave my De La Riva hook all the way through and attack the back. If as I'm pulling, he tries to regain back, I just push his arm outside my torso a little bit and go into Omoplata, which again, it's either submission or a sweep. So that's my couple of favorite sequences for guys standing up in your open guard. We got 5 minutes, guys, so I'm going to try to address one topic really quickly, and that's guillotine submissions. Guillotine setups, and that's from, let's see who that's from. Takedown, breakdown, situations to enter guillotine. Stevie Gogo, favorite guillotine setups. So, guys, there's 2 questions on a guillotine setups. Again, guillotine is one of my favorite weapons, and as such, I have learned to use it. Initially, it was defensively. It was a defense against single leg takedown or double leg takedown. Now I use it defensively as well as offensively. So let's look at some defensive strategies. One is, for example, the guy sort of postures up, and I'm having a hard time tying him up. I'm going to do is hip heist. I know as he's bringing me down, I'm going to change the angle, and now I have a guillotine grip. Okay, that's one defensive way to use it. Another defensive way is when the guy's taking me down, head on the outside. Okay. Offensively, I use it when I turtle the guy up, whether it's off a snap down. I'm going to fix my belt too. Okay. So offensively, you know, maybe I get him down to turtle to snap him down. Another possible way is to make a guard pass. Oh, I'm gonna. That's not a guillotine. I will take what he gives me, guys. I don't force anything. I taught a seminar in Germany, and one of the guys asked me if it's a power move. I said there are no power moves. He hands me everything. So now I have a guillotine. This time I have an arm in. I can always switch into no arm. Like my guillotine setups, I like to attack from the turtle, because if the guy is so afraid of a guillotine from here, a lot of times, you know, they give me other things. In this case, Enrique gave me single hand guillotine and a good position, so I got 2 things out of his guillotine defense. So again, with the guillotine, I use it both defensively as well as offensively. I use it as a guard pass. You know, the head control allows me to pass his guard. There was another question, sort of seated guard, when the guy seats. If he's sitting guard, that's a bigger topic we can address perhaps next time. But if I can get my guillotine grip, I have the guillotine attack. Now, how Enrique gets finished is up to him. If he comes back, he gets guillotine. If he stays where he is, I will put him on his butt and finish with a one-handed guillotine. So guys, I was given the card that we got 1 minute left, and that was about 30 seconds ago. Do we have any questions?
Mark Zeller struggles with his grip from split guard, perhaps next time.
Yeah, I have to. I have to see it. I believe it's probably focusing too much on the elbow, not enough on the wrist. Okay, that's my guess. That I think people sometimes that you want to when when you're holding on to something too tight with your hands, it's the grips as they get closer to your core, they're stronger. But people have a tendency to hold on too much with their hands. So if you think about a knee bar, when you stick a knee bar into your armpit, it's basically the same grip. All right. Any other questions?
Alex ST is questioning about a Darce choke.
Okay. I think we addressed the Darce choke on one of the previous episodes. It's either 4 or 5. We're on episode 6. So why don't you check that out? And then if you still have a question on it, comment on the thread below that what is your question, like maybe your body positioning. We addressed the issue of body positioning. That's where usually people fail, is they sprawl rather than curl up. So guys, I think we're out of time. I appreciate all you tuning in. And again, the Roll with the Fox, what we do is it's live. Then you have a chance to have your questions answered. If you miss it, it's going to be on my page, Facebook page, the personal one. And then if you miss that, or if you can't find it, you don't want to scroll down 3 weeks, it's going to be eventually put up on YouTube, okay? The next episode, it's always first Friday of every month, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time, which is New York City time. And the next one is, I believe, is Friday, December 6th, okay? See you then.